Welcome to Bold Talk series where creativity, leadership, ideas, innovation come together. My name is Ludvik, and today I have a privilege to have a short one-on-one conversation with Matt Ovenden, founder and CEO at Borrow a Boat. Matt, great seeing you, man. How are you?
Good, thanks, Epi. Yeah, all good. Not on a boat today, but maybe
Not
soon.
boat today, huh? Great seeing you. It's been a long time. First, I'd like to congratulate you again for taking home an award. And this was that was the third edition Bold Awards, I believe, was it in the marketplace?
Yeah, yes, it was. Third one, yeah, boldest marketplace. Yeah, that was great.
Congratulations. There's been lots of things going on since then, so I thought it'd be great to have this conversation with you. And Matt, just give us an overview about what. Tell us about the inspiration behind the Borrow Boat. How did it start, and what motivated you to start Borrow Boat?
Sure. Yeah, so I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've had a few businesses before this. I was in the renewable energy sector. I'm a trained mechanical engineer before, but I'd had an exit in 2016. Was considering buying a boat. Um, because I'd had young kids and I grew up with boating, so it's just something I was interested to do with the family. But yeah, I realized boat ownership is well, it doesn't stack up and make a great deal of sense unless you've got a lot of time on your hands. So I began to look at the chartering options for us and found them very limited. And I was also looking for a new business opportunity in a new sector. I've crossed industry sectors before. The theme of my career is driving innovation and technology into established industries. And long story short, I decided to not buy a boat and actually set up Borrow a Boat instead to bring the sharing economy to boating. I thought the charter market wasn't fit for purpose. Not enough boats available of the right sorts. It wasn't easy to find a boat to charter. I also knew many boat owners who were not happy and didn't get to use their boat enough and found it expensive to keep. So the initial idea was to bring the sharing economy to boating, let privately owned boats charter, help boat owners offset the cost of ownership, uh, bring that to consumers in a modern marketplace format that we're accustomed to for just about everything that we consume nowadays. Consumers are very much conditioned to want choice, breadth of the market, reviews, to contrast, compare options, price, book online. This is how we consume everything now, and boating is no different and should be no different. So it needs a marketplace. So launched with that in mind, and just had a great reaction from day one from the industry, from the boat owners, from the marinas, from the charter companies, and from the customers. And it just Borrow Boat is just the right thing at the right time for this industry. It needs a modern sort of gateway, and that's what we've been building for the last 7.5 years.
And what happened? You went to Google and you went to like Borrow a Boat, and you found out no one has this domain. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah, we got the domain pretty bit early on. Launched an MVP product and launched it at the London Boat Show. Yeah, a few months later, did a press event there. Said we're going to make boating more accessible to everyone. We're going to help the industry open up and become more accessible. I do still think there's more to do on this. Yeah, more people would go boating if they thought it was accessible, affordable, and available to them, and that they
Yeah.
could do it. People seem to have these misconceptions and barriers about going boating, but it remains inherently desirable. Something like 1 in 3 people would desire to go boating if they could, but far less than that actually do go boating.
Yeah, I can imagine. How big is this market of renting boats?
It's a huge global, very mature industry. $20 billion annual industry. At least 50 years old in the leisure boating sector, or obviously more older, but in its established form. And it's traditionally been very fragmented. It hasn't really had clear portals or gateways to access the whole industry. It's been fragmented. If you ever tried to rent a boat when you're on holiday, you probably found yourself walking around the marina just looking for a guy with a boat. You know, it was that inaccessible as an industry, and that needed to change. You know,
Yeah.
because in this day and age, we all expect to see everything, all the results all at once, and compare and contrast, filter, search results, sort by, click and book, whatever we want, don't we?
Yeah. That's it's incredible. Sometimes like we just we underestimate some industries, right?
Mm,
There we think that there's the market is too small or it's probably too boring, and all of a sudden we find out like, wow, these industry are amazing, you know. And
mm.
I was just coming across this with recruiting a job portals industry, and I found it's amazing how big that is. I was just doing some research on that, and sometimes like you just need to spend some time and figure out like what's the what is the day-to-day use of these services or the products, and then just go deep and find out more. Now, Matt, obviously uh, you've been innovating in this industry. How do you balance the need for innovation? Obviously, you got to take the risk. You've been scaling the business since you started with some acquisitions. Give us that. What's in? How do you balance the need for innovation?
Yeah, well, we've been driving innovation from day one in the industry. I think we've been challenging the industry. You know, first of all, we're bringing new supply side, boats to establish charter industry. But I believe we're bringing the market pull, the consumer demand, as consumers quite demanding these days. They expect choice, flexibility. They don't want to be told they can only have a boat from a Saturday to a Saturday. They want a boat from a Saturday to a Monday.
Yeah,
The consumer wants what they want. So we've been challenging the industry, on behalf of the consumers, really bringing the innovation in that way. And some parts of the industry have been willing to embrace that more than others. I'd say it's definitely improved and changed over the last 7 years that we've been doing this. Every industry needs to innovate. I think boating was a little bit behind, it's fair to say, the mainstream travel industry in making itself accessible. And in some ways always has suffered from that to an extent, those misconceptions or perceived elitism perhaps in the industry. And we're trying to make it just, you don't have to be a millionaire to rent a boat. We're bringing good price points. We're taking away the snob factor. We make anyone can do this. 1 in 3 people desire this. Why shouldn't they be able to borrow a boat? So we're bringing that fresh, different approach, and we're bringing a modern consumer marketplace, an app,
yeah,
which reaches a far greater audience than the traditional channels of, let's say, boat shows or physically going to marinas. This industry is going online, and we've been a big facilitator of that.
yeah.
So, yeah, we're driving
Great.
it that way. Mm, mm.
Now, Matt, obviously, as you innovating, you got to try new things. When you try new things, failure is just around the corner. What's your approach to failure when trying new things, and how do you encourage people around you?
Well, I think you've always got to take some risks and try things. We try it we're doing it all the time, and we always try to do it in a methodical approach, data-led. Test things. We always test things. Have an objective to what you're trying to achieve. Test the data, see if you achieve it. If you do, keep going. If you don't, quickly change course. Iterate. We're always testing, changing. For example, the design of the website or the way to interact with the audience, of the customers. You know, failure is one way of characterizing it. It's also just getting feedback on a different method and changing to the more successful method. So everything that we do, from the way we market and engage our customers to the way we present the information, to the way we execute and the bookings, to the way we communicate with our suppliers. We're always trying, testing, learning, and iterating, and looking at ways to make it as optimum as possible and scalable as possible, because we're set on building a digital business that can scale here. we're trying to use a modern technology to drive this, and it can.
Yeah. Now, when you're scaling, what are some most significant challenges when you faced while you're scaling your business, and how do you overcome it? Obviously, you have all these boats in your marketplace. You're serving both sides of the marketplace between the demand and supply. Uh, you know, when you do that scaling, it takes quite effort, right? And so how do you how do you overcome that?
Yeah, I mean, for this business as a tech business, it's essential we use the tech to do the heavy lifting to grow. Otherwise, we just could fall in the trap of being a conventional business with a high overhead and headcount. And we've seen that in different versions of ways we've gone about things. Sometimes we think, no, this is too cost heavy, people heavy. We've got to adapt. I think the industry, one of the challenges has been it's perhaps not been ready to be completely digitized and scaled in this way. So there's an element of trying to bridge that gap, trying to make this industry fit with an online marketplace, and build the tech accordingly. There's no off-the-shelf tech for this. This has all been bespoke built to fit this industry that we've been building. And it does work, and we do scale impressive amounts of bookings. In the high season, over 150, 200 bookings a day, with one or two people overseeing that. That's the tech scaling. Large number of consumer requests are being dealt with in an automated way, funneled through, booked, payments made, joining instructions sent out for the charters, charter companies paid, bookings confirmed, next one. In the tech, if set up correctly, in a practical way to fit the industry, and then the people within it can do that, but it's not immediately obvious how that needs to operate, and that's what we've been iterating and building over the years.
Nice. Now, Matt, what does the word bold mean to you?
The word boat
Bold, not boat.
or bold, sorry. Bold, yeah. Oh, be bold. Yeah, I love it. I love the ethos behind the bold awards. I think it means go for it, right? Shoot for the stars in a way. Don't be held back by your fears or your reservations too much. Obviously, calculated risk taking, I would say, not foolhardy risk taking, but being bold, I think, is having the conviction, to go forward and get out of the comfort zone.
Yeah.
Essential for building something new. There's always a queue of people who are willing to tell you that you can't do it, or it doesn't work. And I can't tell you how much we've had that over the years, or I've had that over the years. I've had people in the company telling me that it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I've had people, we've bought companies, and those people have told me that it won't work, it doesn't work, and you can't do it. And all the time. But if a few people saying that we're going to put you off, then you're not being bold enough, right? Yeah, you've got to push through all that and just stick to your self-belief, I believe, and stick to the convictions. You've got to have a lot of determination to push
Yeah.
through, make something new happen against all of the negativity that comes your way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's very well said, because obviously I always say be aware who you're surrounded with, right? And so, sometimes we get those no's from people so close to us.
Yeah.
But is there a way that you listen your gut, your spirit, or you listen your mind? How do you able to discern that and say, well, this is the right decision?
Do you know, I think it's one of the things I've definitely probably got better at as we've gone along here. Because I think near the beginning I was willing to sort of trust a lot of people were up for it and believed in it, and as long as they sort of said the right things, I thought, okay, they're on for this. But then you find out later that they're not. They don't really believe in it, or they don't really feel bold enough or courageous enough to do it, or they're too consumed by anxiety about it, or they're held back. I think I've found different ways to spot that probably over the years. But yeah, it's a bit of a gut feel, and it's a trust. It's a trusting people. I guess it's a people skill of sorts to see if you think someone's really being genuine and they genuinely are up for it. I mean, if you're going to come along with a startup like us, it's not just ABC. There's going to be lots of twists and turns. You've got to be resilient. You've got to be able to push through the barriers, solve problems on the hoof, make it work. And certainly, as I say, we've had lots of people in the company very close to me who I found out over time haven't got the right sort of mindset for this, and those people have generally all left one by one,
Yeah.
as it's not suited them. But sometimes it's taken longer than I would have liked to have found that out. But we found it out eventually, and then those people have moved on, and then we found the right people.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's the case. It's the journey of the entrepreneurship. Now, Matt, you've been to our Bold Awards. How would you rate your experience with Bold Awards? 1 to 10, one being the worst, 10 being the best.
I loved the Bold Awards. It was great. It was in an interesting location. It was in Venice, wasn't it, when I came? So I got to go to exotic location in a black tie and go down, travel up to the awards by boat, and fantastic event you laid on in that interesting location. Great. I like the theme. I like the Bold Awards. I can resonate with that. Yeah, that's what entrepreneurship requires, and any not just entrepreneurship. I guess innovation requires boldness. So I loved the theme of the event. It was interesting across Europe. Um, Enjoyed it a lot. Yeah, out of 10, 9 out of 10. It's a fun event. Enjoyed it. I think you're encouraging innovation with this event and this thing.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. That's always we try to push and make things better and make great experience. Hopefully, you join us for our next edition, sixth edition. This would be we made the move to Lisbon, and
Mm,
yeah, and we have 33 categories. When you were a part of it, there was only probably 20 categories back then.
mm.
But yeah, so Matt, listen, love to have this conversation. However, this is a short format conversation of bold talks. Always be bold, my friend. Congrats on persevering first and achievements that you've gone through. Thank you for joining this bold talk series, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Until next time, take care, be great, and be bold always.
Thanks, Evie.
Cheers, buddy.